Hello everybody, this is Jonathan, and in this video I'm going to show you guys how to use Fontboy. Fontboy is basically a free and open source software that allows you to view all of the fonts that we've currently got installed on your system in Haiku OS. Okay, let's get started right now. So as you guys can see, have the software already installed. We need to use Haiku depot and just search it for Fontboy and then just click onto the install button and it should now be installed. It's basically that simple. But as you guys can see, this is the interface. As you can select all the fonts that I want to select. So for example, I can click onto Nato Sans Bold Italic, and as you guys can see, I have highlighted it because that font is selected. And now what guys are wondering, is that all the fonts I've got installed on the system? No, it's not. Just use the scroll bar, and what the scroll bar does is it allows you to view the more fonts. So you can scroll all the way to the bottom, as you guys can see, and now we can select Jonathan Ubuntu Mono Bold font. And we can go all the way back if we truly wanted to. We guys can click onto View Details, and we'll be able to see how each of the symbols will look with this font enabled. We can click onto this arrow over here to basically display the more characters and more symbols that you guys can look at. So for example, we can scroll off the way this way, and you guys should be able to see some form of Chinese writing, just to see how the Chinese writing will look with the Ubuntu font. So yeah, this is quite interesting to view how all of the symbols will look and how the letters will look. But by default, if we just go to view details, then it just shows up all of the symbols that we'll need for English anyway. So it kind of just shows up all these letters and all these symbols more of an advanced way. You guys can also click onto the refresh button. So for a case if we install another font while using the software, we can just click onto refresh, and all that does is just refresh the software so that we have the latest font basically added to Fontboy. We can go to edit, and all the edit does is goes through some additional settings, so we can change the font size of how this actually looks. So if I do increase this, as you guys can see, the font increases. So this is quite useful, but I want it to be like a really small font. We can also update for columns. So as you guys can see, it goes in a column. So this is column 1, column 2, and column 3. But you can change it to being something like column 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it just shows up 7 columns. But I'm going to keep it as 3 because I want to keep it readable and seeable, but I don't want it to be a bit of a too long of a scroll bar. We can also change the example text by clicking onto it and entering a new text within this text box. So for example, I can say subscribe now. And now, as you guys can see, the text example with the font is now updated. Isn't this wonderful? We can also get rid of the borders if we truly wanted to by just deselecting it, but I think it looks better with borders, so I'm going to keep it enabled. We can also draw heights if we truly wanted to. So yeah, I don't like that, but we guys can enable it if we truly wanted to. If you guys want to go back to the default, just click onto the default button over here. If you guys want to go back to a previous update, just click onto revert, and that will just take you back to being for previous updates that you guys have done. We can also go to colors, and all that does is just change some additional settings with the colors and stuff within this software. So for example, if I click onto list background, as you guys can see, it just changed the background of this section of the software where it lists out all the fonts. We can also change your list text to being something like a white text, and so on. So these are just some additional options that you guys can select, and change some of the colors of the actual software. But I'm going to click onto default as I do not want it to kind of well now, I just want to be back to default because I don't like the colors. But I'm just going to keep this as Jonathan as an example text because that's pretty short and it does show off with our font type pretty well. I'm going to close out the software as I'm now done with the tutorial. If you guys liked it, please put a like and please subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.